Hello, Husky's back once again, trying something new. Usually, when you come on my channel, you see hockey videos, pretty much across the board, NHL, real hockey, whatever. That's what I'm passionate about. But something I've been wanting to do for a while, is FIFA, FIFA 17, a manager career mode commentary. This is a little bit of a different setup as opposed to what my NHL videos are. My NHL videos are tried and true. They've got a method, pretty much exactly how each series is going to go, which kind of is why I want to branch out into a different game. FIFA is something I think that I can garner a broader audience with because soccer and or football is much more popular internationally, and I don't tend to see these kind of rags to riches stories in terms of manager careers. Like I've done rebuilds on NHL with like Minnesota, Vancouver. I'm doing Edmonton now, the Sharks as well. They've turned into a rebuild. That's what I'm essentially going to do with this manager career mode. My end goal is to bring one of the bottom tier teams in the Premier League, which is England's number one soccer league. You're gonna have to excuse me. I'm American. I'm gonna say soccer. That's what I do. My goal is to take one of the bottom tier teams, and to me, I feel like Southampton is a bottom tier team. Now, maybe not bottom tier, like struggling for relegation, but I don't really think of them as a top four team either. And I want to get them to the Champions League, which was suggested by a viewer. In order to qualify for the Champions League, I believe you have to finish top four in the Premier League at the end of the season, which is quite tough to do because those top four spots are usually occupied by Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, uh, a couple others that I can't really think of right now off the top of my head. But it'd be very tough to break out and get to the top of the table where you need to be to make the Champions League. I'm gonna go ahead and hit A. I think I still have to create my manager. I do. I'm just gonna be Mr. Huskies because, well, why the fuck not? Be Mr. Huskies. Manager careers are something that I've been doing the past 3 seasons of FIFA. Now, I will warn you, um, my soccer knowledge in terms of like professional players and all of their tendencies and big names that I probably should know, I don't actually know that well. Bear with me. We're gonna do dollars because I'm American. My knowledge lies heavily in um hockey. I know hockey much better than I do soccer. Sorry, I'm trying to read everything on the screen. So you'll have to bear with me a bit. Feel free to let me know if there's stuff I'm missing that I shouldn't be missing, or if there's things that I should know. Like I said, I know a lot of the big names. I follow the Premier League fairly well. I support Chelsea, right? So hate me if you will. Um, but yeah, this is something a little different. Like I said, I've been doing manager careers in this game for the past 2 or 3 years of FIFA. This game just hit the EA Access Vault, so that's how I'm playing it. Pay $5 a month and you get unlimited access to whatever games are in the vault. FIFA just hit the vault. As for this series, um, unlike the NHL series that I do, where we do a mass sim like months at a time, this FIFA's sim system is basically set up to do days at a time because you have a match every week. So these videos, these seasons for these videos aren't going to be like 2 or 3 videos like they are on NHL. It'll be probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 videos a season because there's a lot of stuff to do. Like you have to train players. I'm going to be simming each individual game because the sim engine isn't terrible and it's also pretty quick. You also have to look up transfers. You have to fill out your youth squad. Um, there's possible interests of being recruited for an international squad. Like I could have a country hit me up and be like, We want you to manage our national team and try to get us into the World Cup or qualify for the World Cup or, something like that. Champions Trophy, obviously. But yeah, this first video is just pretty much an introduction, give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing with the season or with the mode. Try to give you a little insight as to what the team is, how I want to move forward with the team. Because, like I said, not only do you have to try to win, I don't want to dive into the emails just yet. In addition to not only wanting to do well, and obviously win and make the Champions League, but there's other aspects of a manager career that you have to pay attention to. You bring players in, you train them up, and then you sell them basically, so you can get your transfer budget up, so you can make room for better players down the road. And it's something you don't really have in other sports. Like I can go out, I can search for like a promising young player because I have a decent repertoire. Decent. Repertoire is not the right word. I don't know how to. I don't know what word to use. Established, I guess. I can bring in prospects from other teams, train them up, and then resell them at a higher price. That way I can use what I use from those smaller transactions, and I can boost it up and bring in higher name talent. Because as you can see on the screen right now, finances, our transfer budget is 87.5 million, and our wage budget is 204K. Wage budget is what you pay your players on their contracts. Your transfer budget is what you use to buy players from other teams. And the transfer budget can fluctuate throughout the season depending on how your team's doing. But yeah, let's have a look at the team. Now, mind you, the past couple times that I've done manager careers, I've done with really shitty teams. So you'll have to bear with me and figure out what I have to work with here. Because already, I'm not accustomed to having people over 70 overalls, and I have several. I have a couple 80s. I'm not going to do any formation changes, not going to do any lineup changes. Basically, just kind of looking over what I need to improve through the transfer market. Damn it, I have to sneeze again, man. This is so frustrating. Right away, I see a center back position that, although we have this dude, he's probably not a kid. Also, you're going to expect me to, if you haven't already from my NHL series, expect me to butcher a whole lot of names. Caceres, because I don't know, man. Caceres, I don't know. Does he have a first name? Not that I can find easily. So he honestly should be playing. I'm assuming he should be playing. Oh, actually, I have two good center backs. Why are neither of these guys in the lineup? I also need to do some research and figure out what Southampton's actual formation is that they run. Because a lot of the formations, they might be right, but there's Operation Sports does a lot of work with sim gameplay, and there's a site dedicated to formations and tendencies for players. So I'll make sure to update that off camera. Do I have anybody else over the top that needs to play? No. Alright, so our midfield's a little weak. That would be these three positions. If you're not that well versed in soccer, feel free to ask questions. I'm sure the comments will help you. I will give any advice, information that I have. Yeah, so our left, I guess these Tadic and Redmond are our wingers. Our left wing could be a little better. I mean, I could just put Bofel in. I actually might just do that because I feel like he's a much better option. We have a fairly decent squad here. Like, I don't have any glaring weaknesses. Like I said, my midfield's a little lackluster, but we've got guys that I can put in. Although this is really a center defensive mid spot. So this center mid might have to. Yeah, But yeah, we've got. I'm not entirely sure. Our midfield's pretty good. I think I just have to kind of let it go and see who does well and who struggles. But yeah, let's go check our training real quick. Training is a big part of this game. Unlike NHL, where you can't influence progression in any way aside from playing them in certain areas, in this you can do training. Each week you can pick 5 players at a time. I want to see if I have any promising players. I have several. I have 3 promising midfielders or wingers. Sorry, so a couple of them are mids and one's a winger. I have a couple promising midfielders. Now, most of these guys, I might just try to get their. As you can see on the right, you see approximate value. This guy's 5 million. This guy's 8 million. 8.5. Basically, you train them up, and then you try to get back as much profit as you can on them. If you don't see them having a spot on your team, and there's a couple guys that are on the younger side that make considerably less. Yeah, damn, this dude's 28 million. He's obviously our star. So we have a decent amount of promising players, and those are the guys that I usually focus the most training on. But like I said, here I'll do we'll do this Boful. He's a winger, and once you select him, you can do all sorts of different drills, and each drill brings back a certain attribute bonus. And they all obviously they give to different things. Being as this guy is a winger, he's gonna have a lot of. I'm assuming he would be crossing a lot of running down the wings of the field, so he needs to be quick. So I'm gonna do passing, and I want to actually do corner delivery. Do I want to do? Well, let's do a scoring from. Let's do perfect delivery. Now, as you can see, each one of them have different difficulties. Obviously, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. Um, Now, I'm not going to go in depth onto all of my training sessions because this is going to be a very um, dry thing the further we go. Basically, it's just every 7 days you set up another group of players that you just want to train. Like I said, these are guys that I want to get good enough to possibly sell on the market or even use possibly. It's all about building a roster that's good enough to compete. And the Premier League it's a Premier League. It's the best league in England. It's where players want to go. It's got the heaviest competition, I feel. I usually tend to stick to the younger kids when I'm training as well. Like anybody that's below 21 usually gets first dibs at training. I don't have any young strikers. I mean, I have a 24-year-old. He's pretty good. Oops, I didn't want to hit that. Gabadini. He's a fairly good player, so I might just. He's 24. Let's see if we can get him any better. The only issue is once you get to a certain overall, you pretty much. It's training is obviously the better you are, the harder it is going to train. So try to find any attributes that are on the lower side. And now, pretty much, you can go in and do each individual training session yourself, like physically play the drill. I just do the sim; it's easier. I mean, that's what this is. It's simming, and across the board we see we have 2 A's, a D, a C, and a B. Their grades are directly related to the difficulty of the drill. So if the drill is harder and they get a good grade, they get the most production, and vice versa. If it's a low drill and they do bad, they get the lowest. But typically, even if you fail a harder drill, you get a decent amount of training. Um, as I said, this is pretty much a couple days at a time simming, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna sim this first game against Monterey. Monterey. Oh god, I'm a geography major and I can't pronounce things. All right, so I don't really care about any of this. Sam McQueen. Oh, I used to have him in one of my older uh, career modes. I want to sim a game to show you what the sim engine looks like. It's very basic. It's very simple. Um, let's check our objectives. Like I said, my personal objective is to reach finish in a Euro League spot. So that should be in domestic. Yeah. Finishing a EuroLeague spot, which is top 4 in the league. There's 35, 36, 39 games, I think, in a season. So we're coming in a medium spot. We're 13th. So yeah, there's little reduced player wages. Like, some of this stuff just is nonsense. Youth development's a big thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and sim our first game so I can show you what the sim looks like. This is a domestic tournament, the Champions Trophy. It's a small friendly tournament amongst certain teams that are invited. The better you do, the better invites you get. There's only 8 teams. We are in Group A against AS Monaco. I don't know if it's Monterrey or Monterrey, and River Plate. I think Torino is the best team in the other division. But yeah, there's all sorts of little international competitions to start the year. The only issue with this game is if you change the set, because there's so many things going on, if you change the standings page, it takes forever. So let's go ahead and sim match. Like I said, this is how it's going to be. This is the sim screen. Like I said, if you're not accustomed to FIFA, if this is your first time watching FIFA, feel free to ask questions. I'll do the best I can to answer them. I'm sure like I said, the comments help you as well. But on the left, you see our lineup. The names grayed out at the bottom are substitutes and or reserves. And listing from top to bottom in terms of the darkened names, Forrester is our goalkeeper, and it goes goalkeeper, 4 defense, 3 mids, and then our 3 attackers. So let's go ahead and get it on. Like I said, it's a very basic sim engine. Like, there's not too much to it. It's also very quick. Any progress that happens in the game will happen in the upper right, underneath where the time is going. We also get a scoreboard, and we're up 1-0. Nice. We get a scoreboard in the bottom right of our current whatever competition we're in. Nice. He's got 2 goals. Very nice. Gabadini with a hat trick. Heads up. Oh, we gave up 1. But there's an early W. We get our first win in our international competition. But yeah, the latest scores will always revolve around the competition you're currently taking place in. We are doing an international friendly tournament, so it'll only be games from that tournament. Once we get into the regular season of the Premier League, it'll only be Premier League scores. Just, it's a little feature that I wish NHL would incorporate into their sim engine. But hey, what are you gonna do? Oh, we already lost our best. 9 days. God damn it. Just auto replace them. I don't even think we'll have a game. No, yeah, we'll have a game in 9 days. But there's our first sim. We have another training session to do. Next video, I want to keep these videos to about the same length I have the NHL videos. Keep them at about 20 minutes. Next video, I'll go over transfers and our youth squad, how to get youth squad, and we'll go a little more in depth into who I think we should bring in. But yeah, this is pretty much just an introduction, welcoming you to the game, showing you what I want. And yeah, just kind of hoping to start something new, something fresh on the channel. I don't have an upload schedule for this just yet. I might shoot for every other day because this might be a little more research intensive than NHL is. Might be stuff I do off camera to just save time on the videos. But yeah, any suggestions, any hype, feel free to post it in the comments. And yeah, make sure to leave a like for the start of the series. This is something that I've really wanted to do for a while, and I have a small audience, but I think it'll be decently received. But yeah, remember, likes are the best way that these videos get shared and we get a bigger discussion going in the comments. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.